Alright guys, how's it going? So on Monday it was Blender Royale and the theme was snow globes, so I posted the render on Facebook and one of the users was wanting to know how do you make animated Christmas tree lights. And the quickest way to do this is pretty much by using instancing, and I'll give you a quick overview. Sorry to interrupt, it's future me here when I'm editing the video. Remember to convert your particles, otherwise you'll end up with something like this. Or what you could do is you could just put the gravity down to 0 on the particle emitter, but I thought that might be quite important. Back to the video. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add in a curve, and I'm going to add in a curve profile, and I'll add in a helix. Now if you don't have these, it's because you've not enabled the extra curve objects, and it comes inbuilt with Blender, so enable that in the preferences. So we'll just do a helix, we'll put the end angle up to something like 600, and we can pretend this is a Christmas tree wire. Now what I'm actually going to do here is I'll go into object mode, and I'm going to duplicate this, and it just means at any point I can go back to it and I can add in something like a profile. So with the first one selected, I'll go to object, and I'll convert this into a mesh. Now I have a funny suspicion this is going to be 100 points, but we'll just enable the statistics here just to check it out. Yep, 100 vertices. So if I go to the particle settings, add in a particle emitter. Now I only need 100 points or particles, so I'll put in the number. I'll put the frame start down to 1. That means it will start on frame 1. And what I'll do is I'll go to source and I'll change this to vertices. And you can see here we're generating. Now there's a slight bug at the moment with the particle settings, and I'll show you in a minute. But I'll take random order off, and you can see here we're essentially generating 100 particles on every single point. Now I want to change this into something like Christmas light, so what I'll do here is I'll go to add, I'll go to mesh, and we'll just use something like an icosphere. I'll then select the object with the particles attached. I'll come down to render, I'll change from halo to object, and we'll select the icosphere. Now you'll notice the bug coming into play, it has been reported, but if you just slightly change the scale, there we go, we now have 100 particles on. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of scale randomness just to kind of tart the scene up a little bit. And I'm going to select the main object, and what I can do here is I can apply a new material, and I'll quickly jump into the shading editor. So I'll go to shading, and the first thing I'm going to drop down is an object info node. So I'll go to object, object info, and this is great when you're using things like instancing. I'll then add in a quick colour ramp, and what I'll do here is on the first value I'll make this something like a red. We'll add a point in the middle, we'll make this green. And on the last one, obviously, we'll make this blue. And it means we have this kind of colour shift. Now, there's several ways I can do this. I can do this with the random. So I'll take the random, plug this into the factor. I'll then take the colour, and I'll plug this into the emission. And because we're using version 2.9, we now have an emission strength, which is brilliant. It just helps. And what I can do here is I can hide the original object, which is icosphere, and we now have these kind of Christmas lights. Now we can put the emission strength up or down, but because we're using Eevee, I can put a little bit of bloom on it. We get these nice Christmas lights. Let's quickly jump back into layout and we'll check it out. Looking pretty good. If I jump back into shading, go to the world, what I can do here is I can actually set the background colour, and I'll make this black. And we have nice Christmas tree lights. Now one of the questions is how do you animate this, or how do you get it to kind of flicker or go through a sequence? And it's pretty easy, to be honest. What I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to use the location, and when I plug this in you'll see that it actually kind of changes and it goes through the steps, which is pretty cool because you can push the values in a little bit as well. I'm just going to add in a noise or maybe a Voronoi node, so we'll do something like that. We'll search for a Voronoi. So we'll just plug this into the vector, we'll use the colour, and what we can do is we can kind of squeeze the values if we want to kind of change the colours a little bit, and it's just a matter of animating the scale, so you can right click, insert a keyframe, and you pretty much get flickering Christmas lights, nice and easy, doddle to do. So before we finish up, the reason that I actually duplicated the helix curve is so I can go into the geometry option and do something like a depth bevel, and we end up with this kind of cabling system. So it's always good to kind of practice that method. Do me a favour guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, follow me on Twitter, support me on Gumroad, you know what to do. Take care.